All right, welcome back to solutions for section 3.9 on related rates. Here we're going to look at problem number 39. The problem says that if you have two resistors with resistance R1 and R2, and they're connected in parallel, then the total resistance of R is given by this equation, 1 over R equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. And if R1 and R2 are increasing at rates of 0.3 and 0.2 respectively, how fast is R changing when R1 is 80 and R2 is 100? All right, so one thing that's nice about this is you're given the equation, and that will help you you don't have to find the equation to do this. So let's see, what is given to us? So we are given in this problem that dr1 over dt is 0.3, and we're given that dr2 over dt is 0.2. And we're supposed to find dr dt when R1 equals 80 and R2 equals 100. Now, the first thing I notice here is I'm probably going to need to find R. I'm given R1 and R2. So we're going to use the equation that's given, 1 over R equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 to find R when R1 equals 80 and R2 equals 100. So let's see, to do that, I've got 1 over R equals 1 over 80 plus 1 over 100. So it would be really nice if I could just flip these and say R equals 80 plus 100, but that doesn't work. I need to get a common denominator on the right-hand side and then combine those. So common denominator, there's lots of choices. The simplest one to pick would be 400, but I think more people would probably see 800. So let me do that one. 1 over 80, if I make that into 800 in the denominator, that means I have a 10 on the top. And 1 over 100, if I put 800 in the bottom, that means I have an 8 on top. So I add those together, I get 18 over 800, which then can be reduced to 9 over 400. And again, if you got 400 as your common denominator, then you just would have ended up with that 9. So the fact that I have that now, that I have 1 over R equals 9 over 400 means that I can just flip them because there's no addition or subtraction sign between any of the terms. I get R equals 400 over 9. All right, so we've got our equation. So next we're going to take the derivative, ddt of equation, which we're given as 1 over R. We're going to take ddt of 1 over R equals ddt of 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Now, when I have expressions like this, like 1 over R, I think it's easier in taking the derivative to write it as R to the negative 1. So I'm going to rewrite this as R to the negative 1. And then on the right side, I'm going to take the derivative of R of 1 to the negative 1 plus R sub 2 to the negative 1. Now when I take the derivative, I use the power rule. So I take the exponent, I bring it out front. So I'm going to get a negative 1 times R. I reduce the power by 1. So negative 1 minus 1 gives me negative 2. And this becomes dRt. On the right-hand side, I do the same thing. I've got R of 1 to negative 1. So by the power rule, I get a negative 1 times R1. Decrease the exponent by 1. So negative 1 minus 1 is a negative 2. And then I have a dr of 1 dt. And likewise, for the last term, I have a negative 1 times R2 to the negative 2 dr2 dt. And if I wanted to, I could do a few things. I could cancel out the negative 1s on everything. And I also may want to write the negative 2 exponent, r to the negative 2, as 1 over r squared, which is what I'm going to do. So I have 1 over r squared dr dt equals 1 over r1 squared dr1 dt plus, because we got rid of the negative, 1 over r2 squared dr2 dt. And remember, we are trying to finding dr dt. So I'm going to multiply both sides by r squared. I have dr dt equals r squared times all of this. And then I just need to substitute in my values that I'm given. So dr dt, what was r? Going back here, we saw that R was 400. So I'm going to bring that down here. So I'm going to have 400 over 9. I believe that's what it was. squared. And then what was R1? See, I got R1 is 80 and R2 is 100. So I'm going to bring those down here. So I will now have 1 over 80 squared plus 1 over 100 squared. And then last, we need to figure out, we have to bring down dr1 and dr1 dt and dr2 dt. We're going to bring those down. I don't know if all this coloring helps, but I kind of like it. So dr1 was 0.3 and dr2 was 0.2. And now I just simplify this, and you can use calculator or whatever. And when I simplify this, I got 107 over 810, which is approximately 0.132. And that's my answer. All right, hope that helps. Thanks.